we back in it. Let's get right to it. We don't want to waste no time. This is top 20 amazing six Power Rangers backstories, powers, and weapons explored.
Lightning! Final strike!
When the Power Rangers first launched in 1993, the creators could not have imagined the kind of impact they would have on the history of pop culture. With over 28 seasons, the franchise is a mega hit even today, with fans waiting eagerly for new spin-offs, comics, or season releases. While the show mostly focuses on the Rangers and their fights against unique antagonists, there has been a recurring tradition of introducing a sixth Ranger to aid the iconic Power Rangers team. Tommy Oliver made his first appearance as a sixth Ranger in form of the Green Ranger, and several other characters have picked up this mantle over the years. Today, we will take you on a little trip down memory lane as we explore the top 20 special 6th Power Rangers across the franchise. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
We will invade their world.
Lord Draken Boom Studios. First introduced as the evil counterpart of Tommy Oliver, Lord Draken stirred up a whole lot of chaos in Boom Studios' Power Ranger comics. During this Shattered Grid story arc, Draken appeared as the main villain, who hailed from an alternate reality where he ruled over Angel Grove. In this reality, Angel Grove was a technologically advanced dystopian universe, with Draken overseeing all of its functions. While he played the role of the Green Rangers just like Tommy, he did not ever join the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. Nonetheless, he still deserves a special mention, owing to the fact that he did appear as the 6th Ranger. In fact, Draken's origins can be traced to Tommy, who had once ended up getting lured into following Rita Repulsa. After using him to fight against the Rangers, Rita taught him some of her spells, and accidentally corrupted him so much that he overthrew her rule. After taking her place, this evil, older counterpart of Tommy rechristened himself as Lord Draken and began his reign of terror. He also seized Jason White's Ranger powers and merged them with his Green Ranger powers to grow strong, and he wore a custom Ranger suit with red and black markings.
Morph into the Green Ranger!
Tommy Oliver. While we kick-started our list with Tommy Oliver's evil counterpart, let us now have a look at the most iconic 6th Ranger of all time. First introduced in a 5-part episode titled Green with Evil, Tommy actually became the Green Ranger when Rita Repulsa handed him the Dragon Power Coin. He did end up defeating the Rangers with the help of the Dragon Zord in his first appearance, but much to everyone's relief, he did not remain in Rita's control for too long. When the Red Ranger destroyed the Sword of Darkness, this broke Rita's hold over Tommy, and he soon realized that he must switch over to the good side. Tommy donned several Power Rangers outfits over the years, but his iconic green outfit soon became a fan favorite, especially since it marked his debut. He also had a dagger that could summon a robotic dragon from the sea, but sadly, his powers were only temporary, and he later regained some new powers and assumed the role of the White Ranger. Tommy later stepped into the shoes of the Red Ranger and even the Black Ranger. Regardless of the color, he lives on in most of our memories as the special 6th Ranger from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Ranger power!
Jason Lee Scott, Zeo. While Jason is best known as the first Red Ranger who led the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, he later appeared in Power Rangers Zeo as a Special Ranger. Jason has always had a reputation for being a powerhouse in the form of a Ranger, and he is also the only one who has managed to defeat Tommy Oliver in a face-off. When Trey, of Triforia, was sent to Earth by the Alien Rangers, he revealed that he could no longer use his Gold Ranger powers, and Billy then tried to take up his role. However, Billy's body had absorbed way too much negative energy, and Tommy then suggested that Jason could be the one to step up as the temporary Gold Zeo Ranger. In this form, Jason gained access to Trey's powers, as well as the Golden Power Staff, and a specially designed suit that made him the center of attention. He also gained a gigantic carrier Megazord, which remains one of his most iconic forms. Magna Defender, Lost Galaxy. While Magna Defender appeared in barely 9 episodes across the franchise, he managed to create quite a lasting impression in a short span of time. He was considered to be an anti-hero in Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, and he particularly held a grudge against Scorpius for destroying his home world and killing his son, he swore revenge against Scorpius and bid his time until he could possess Mike Corbett's body in 1999. He then set out to find his opponent, and he was so blinded by rage that he ended up fighting the Power Rangers and even stirred up trouble for civilians. While the Power Rangers also wished to defeat Scorpius, the Magna Defender came on too strong, making it difficult for them to work with him to bring down their common enemies. However, he proved to be of great use to them and did a solid job of filling in as the 6th Ranger in their final face-off. The Magna Defender also had a powerful Zord in the form of Torazord, who seemed to have a mind of its own. While this Zord was loyal to its owner, it did not always comply with his demands for destruction. In fact, the Torazord even broke their combined form on its own to prevent the Magna Defender from destroying Terra Venture. Eventually, the Magna Defender sacrificed his life in their final battle against Scorpius, and he was finally reunited with his son in death. While he was no more, his legacy as a Ranger did not die with him, and he then bestowed Mike Corbett with the responsibility of becoming the new Magna Defender. Udonna, Mystic Force. Famously known as the wise sorceress of Root Core, Udonna deviated from this path to briefly appear as the White Mystic Ranger in Power Rangers Mystic Force. She was the wife of the Mystic Wizard, Leanbo, and she lived a quiet life under the radar after she believed that he had died during the Great Battle. Unfortunately, her peaceful life was disrupted when an earthquake broke the seal that had kept the Morlocks trapped for all this time, and Udonna had no option but to step up and recruit the Mystic Rangers to deal with this. She acted as a mentor to the Mystic Rangers and guided them through their battles, but she found herself incapable of fighting alongside them after she lost her snow staff. While she mentors them from the sidelines, Udonna's life turns upside down once again when she discovers that her supposedly dead husband has now taken the form of Korak. She eventually finds her snow staff and helps the Rangers in their final battle against Hecatoid, after which she uses her newly regained powers to find her husband in the underworld and revive him. Phantom Ranger, Turbo, and in space. Hailing from the world of Eltar, the Phantom Ranger's origins are shrouded in mystery, and he appeared on Earth in a spaceship during Power Rangers Turbo. In his very first appearance, the Phantom Ranger proves to be quite useful to the Turbo Rangers and prevents Elgar from robbing a bank and a gold mine. Initially, he preferred to be invisible to stay out of danger, but he eventually got acquainted with the Turbo Rangers and even got them out of trouble. He especially struck a connection with the Pink Ranger at the time, but he disappeared before she could ask him where he came from. They soon crossed paths, and the Phantom Ranger helped the Turbo Rangers in their fight against the intergalactic pirate queen of evil, Divatox. While he was never introduced as an official team member, he was of great help to them and gave them their new rescue Zord before taking off in his spaceship again. He later made an appearance in Power Rangers in Space, wherein he helped the Power Rangers locate Zordon in the planet of Hercuron. He ended up getting in a bit of trouble with Zordon's captor, Divatox, who sent her army of Piranhatron to bring him down. However, the Phantom Ranger immediately used his laser to send an emergency message to the other Rangers, who rushed to his aid. Antonio, Samurai, and Super Samurai. Introduced as the Gold Samurai Ranger, Antonio Garcia debuted in Power Rangers Super Samurai and won all our hearts with his wit. He first came across the Rangers when he met Jade and Shiva when they were kids, and he even aspired to become a samurai just like Jade. Sadly, his family had to move away, and Jaden bid him goodbye by handing him his Octozord as a goodbye gift. Later, Antonio returned to Panorama City and hit his friend up by sending him an anonymous letter, and soon enough, he became a part of the Power Rangers. Antonio was considered to be the smartest of them all, and he also had super strength and the ability to move at the speed of light. While these are impressive feats, Antonio especially stood out in an episode titled Trading Places, wherein he ended up getting turned into a fish. This might be one of his goofiest moments, as it showed him in a new light as compared to his usual witty persona. Antonio also had a legendary sheath/stealth maneuver, which allowed him to strike down multiple enemies in such less time that his opponents did not even see him move from his original spot. Rita Repulsa, Power Rangers 201. While Rita Repulsa has always appeared as a major villain, she surprisingly stepped up to be the special Green Ranger in the 2017 Power Rangers reboot. This film introduced Zordon as the original Red Ranger, and Rita had worked in his team for a long time before betraying him and going down her own path. The film also shows Zordon as he battles against Rita, who seems to be using her Green Ranger powers to defeat the entire original team. She had some plans of her own, which involved getting her hands on the Zeo Crystal so that she could harness harness the power of life and death itself. Unfortunately, the Zeo crystal ensured that all life on Earth lived peacefully, and extracting the crystal would have rendered all life extinct. In order to avoid this fate, Zordon's Power Rangers faced her, but she was powerful enough to defeat them all, with the exception of Zordon. Zordon shot Rita with a powerful blast that left her comatose, and she eventually came back to life in the present day, after a team of fishermen led by Jason's father fished her out. Rita sought out desperate ways to strengthen herself, and returned to her usual state, and she even robbed several gold stores to find enough gold to restore her power. While she used to be a graceful Green Ranger, Rita eventually fell from grace, and turned into a wanted criminal in Angel Grove. Dagaron, Mystic Force. Also known as the Solaris Knight, Dagaron had the ability to wield the sun's power, and he made his debut appearance in Power Rangers Mystic Force. He was not initially included in the Power Rangers team, but he eventually earned the title of the 6th Ranger and piloted the Solar Streak Megazord. Dagaron was one of the fiercest individuals to join the Rangers team, and he was known for his no-nonsense attitude and stern demeanor. He had a human appearance, but he was one of the benevolent magical entities known as the Ancient Mystics, who also acted as the power source for the Mystic Ranger. Dagaron trained under Leanbo, but he mysteriously disappeared for almost 2 decades after the Great Battle. Later, it was revealed that he had sealed himself in a cave to prevent Cal Lindor from escaping, and he eventually turned into a frog. In the Mystic Force series, Madison kissed him in his frog form, turning him back to his usual self. He then stepped up to become their teacher, and he was quite a strict mentor who always pushed the Rangers to reach their full potential. Cameron, Ninjastorm. Born to Sensei Kanoi and Miko, Cameron would prove to be an excellent addition to the team due to his warrior skill. While his father mentored the Rangers at the Wild Ninja Academy, Cameron traveled back in time and ended up gaining the mystical samurai amulet, which gave him his powers. He could then morph into the Green Samurai Ranger, and he then helped the Rangers in their fight against Lothor. While Cameron was quite taken aback when he learned he was related to Lothor, he soon snapped out of it and created a holographic version of himself. He named this version Cybercam and left all run-of-the-mill operations and maintenance work to it. At the same time, the Rangers eventually managed to defeat Lothor, and Cameron stepped up to be their advisor. He also looked after Lothor's nieces, Mara and Capri, in their training and ensured that they stayed away from any evil influences. Cameron later appeared in Dino Thunder, and a crossover episode to deal with Lothor when he made a comeback. Merrick Ballatin, Wild Force. While Wild Force was packed with several intriguing storylines, Merrick Ballatin probably had one of the best arcs in the series. About 3,000 years ago, Merrick had fought against the Auric Empire with the help of the magical mask of Zenaku, which gave him the strength to defend his land. While he did manage to overthrow Master Org, he could not bring the mask under his control, and he ended up channeling the spirit of Zenaku. While his friends had no option but to lock him up, Master Org took this opportunity to use Zenaku as his puppet. He freed him from prison and then sent him to attack the Rangers. But this plan backfired when the Rangers managed to turn him back to the right side. While he snapped out of Master Org's control, Merrick's curse did linger, and he would turn into a wolf monster on full moon nights. The Rangers were of great help, and they helped Merrick break this curse before offering him a position as the Lunar Wolf Ranger. He aided them in their fight against Master Org and faced him once again, and he also had 3 Zords to aid him in his battles against evil forces. Eric Myers, Time Force. Eric Myers first appeared in Time Force when Mr. Collins hired the Silver Guardians to protect Silver Hills, which then led him to Wes. A whole lot of this season was centered around Wes and Eric's friendship, despite their contrasting family backgrounds. In fact, they initially clashed quite a bit before finally coming to terms with each other. While Wes managed to secure a spot as the Red Ranger without his millionaire father's help, his father created a special force to prove its authority. Eric ended up leading this force, and he eventually gained special quantum powers that turned him into the Quantum Ranger. Eric then gained control over Quantosaurus Rex, who is known to be the most powerful Zord in the Time Force Zord squad. While he ended up clashing against the Rangers at first, they soon realized that he was also fighting against evil, and then included him as a special ranger in their team. However, Eric preferred to work alone in most cases, and it took him a while to adjust and become a team player. RJ, Jungle Fury, also known as Robert James. RJ was the son of Pai Zug Master Finn, but he ended up clashing with his father and went down his own path to become a master. After training under Master Swoop for a while, RJ opened up Jungle Karma Pizza and prepared himself for any students that might come his way. Soon enough, Master Mao directed 3 new students to RJ's Jungle Karma Pizza, but they ended up in a clash with an army of Rinci with no way out. Eventually, RJ stepped in to defeat these monsters and revealed himself to be their new master. He then handed them their solar morphers and mentored them at his quirky pizzeria turned training base until they were prepared to act as the new Rangers. At some point in the plot, RJ turned into a wolf-like entity, and the only way for him to regain some control over his inner self was by turning into the Purple Wolf Ranger. In this form, RJ led the Power Rangers team to great success, gained several specialized powers, and also ended up reconciling with his father. Ryan Mitchell, Lightspeed Rescue. Ryan Mitchell, aka the Titanium Ranger, was initially portrayed as an antagonist in his first few appearances in Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, but he eventually joined the team as a full-fledged member. He did have limited screen time, but he more than made up for the limited scenes by being extremely proactive in all of his appearances. Ryan donned a pretty cool golden gray outfit and had an axe that could turn into a gun in case things escalated. While the other Rangers tried to maintain peace and defend the citizens, he was much more aggressive than them and often went out of his way to seek villains out and fight them. While he was not quite reliable, he made for a wonderful addition to the Rangers team, and he made sure that he got the job done even if he had to do it all by himself. Zack Space. Introduced as the Silver Space Ranger in Power Rangers in Space, Zane played a crucial role in the fight against Dark Spectre, an astronomer. He originated from the planet KO-35 and was known for his childhood friendship with the Red Space Ranger, Andros. As the story progressed, Zane stepped up to help the Space Rangers fight against Dark Spectre and Astronomer while they tried to attack Earth and dominate it. As a special addition to the team, Zane was equipped with the Super Silverizer and the Mega Winger Zord, which added to his strength and made him quite a formidable opponent. He was also a fan favorite due to his willingness to put himself in danger to protect his friends, and he once even saved Andros' life by taking a bullet for him. While the gunshot sent him into a coma for about 2 years, he did not seem fazed at all, and he continued to go about his life as soon as he regained consciousness. He was quite an admirable character, and he eventually even stepped up to lead the Space Rangers, while Andros was preoccupied with other things. Trent Mercer, Dino Thunder. Dino Thunder probably has one of the craziest story arcs among other Power Ranger seasons, and one of its biggest plot points involves millionaire Anton Mercer, who eventually wreaked havoc as his alter ego, Mesogog. He might be a major antagonist in this season, but his adoptive son, Trent Mercer, wanted nothing to do with his father's evil plots. Initially, he spent most of his time obsessing over motorcycles, but over time, he became obsessed with his father's scientific works and started studying them. As he looked into Anton's secrets, he stumbled across a white gem that turned him into the White Dino Ranger. He seemed to struggle with its powers initially, which drove him to fight the other Dino Rangers, who wanted nothing but to help him handle his newfound powers. Soon enough, Trent was accepted by the team with open arms, and he then worked as a special ranger while Mesogog tried to stir up trouble for him by introducing an evil Trent clone. This created quite a stir among the Rangers, but they eventually managed to tackle the situation, and Trent worked closely with them for quite a while. Survivor, Dino Charge. As compared to other seasons, Dino Charge particularly stands out due to the sheer number of Rangers that have been introduced as supporting characters. However, Sir Ivan of Xandar shines brighter than all of them as the Gold Ranger despite not having any unique 6th Ranger powers. He was actually a medieval knight who found himself trapped within a monster for centuries before he was finally freed into the modern world. In the present day, Sir Ivan accidentally ended up merging with Sledge's right hand, Fury, which got him in a tough spot with the Rangers as well. However, they eventually came around to him after he secured the Terra Dino Charger and transformed into the Gold Ranger. Among other things, Sir Ivan captivated the audience's attention with his quirky vocabulary, as he would often slip in some fancy medieval words in his speech. Hunter and Blake, Ninjastorm. Appearing in Ninjastorm, Hunter and Blake Bradley were the adoptive sons of a young couple who had been associated with the Thunder Ninja Academy for a long time. While they had a wonderful childhood, tragedy struck them when Lothar murdered their parents and left them orphaned at a young age. Since they already knew their way around the academy, Sensei Amano took them in and raised them under his guidance until even he was captured by Lothar. In light of these events, Sensei Amano realized that the Thunder Rangers could use a couple of extra hands, and he decided to give Hunter and Blake a couple of his Thunder Morphers. While Hunter appeared as the Crimson Thunder Ranger, Blake assumed the role of the Navy Thunder Ranger and worked closely with the rest of the team to overthrow Lothar's tyranny. At one point, they teamed up with the Dino Rangers and appeared in Megaforce and Dino Fury, where they fought against the likes of Mesogog and Armada. Leanbo, Mystic Force. Leanbo was one of the 5 ancient mystic wizards who hailed from the magical world and bore the weight of fighting in the Great Battle. He disappeared in the aftermath, and his wife assumed that he had died, but it was later revealed that he was corrupted by evil forces. While Leanbo was an honorable man, he was transformed into Korag, the mighty evil villain who stirred up a whole lot of trouble for the Mystic Rangers, while his wife, Udonna, helped the Rangers and acted as a mentor to them. Leanbo was fighting against them as Korag, and he once even fought against his own wife without recognizing her. Over time, he did come to his senses when he once jumped to Udonna's rescue in a face-off and ended up transforming back into his true form as a result of the blast directed at him. He then joined the Mystic Rangers as the Wolf Warrior and wore a bright red armor with yellow patterns on it. He also had the ability to manipulate fire and transform into a knight-like wizard by using his wolf morpher. Tyzon, Operation Overdrive. Hailing from the planet of Mercuria, Tyzon was one of the main protagonists of Power Rangers Operative, Overdrive. He was an alien who worked alongside the Intergalactic Emergency Responder Squad, and tragedy struck him when his fiancée and teammates were killed by the Fear Cats. While they escaped to Earth, Tyzon followed them there but was soon captured by Moltor, who turned him into a monster. Moltor then sent him to England to retrieve a document, and his journey led him to Mac Hartford, the Red Overdrive Ranger. Initially, Tyzon turned down all invitations to join the team, while recovering from the trauma of losing his earlier teammates. However, Ronnie persuaded him and even helped him overcome his survivor's guilt, and he then picked up the mantle of the Mercury Ranger. Marvelous verdict. And with that, we come to the end of our list of the top 20 most special 6th Power Rangers who have graced our televisions across the years, from Tommy Oliver's iconic Green Ranger to some more unconventional Rangers.
I ain't gonna lie. I thought Tommy Oliver's White Ranger was gonna be number 1, not that last one. Anyways, thank y'all for watching. I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Y'all